Hola. Here is my presentation. The topic the theory that I choose is a spontaneous and scientific concept, and my interest is in bilingual early childhood education. So, a spontaneous and scientific concept for bilingual early childhood education. What I'm gonna talk in the presentation, I'm gonna start with the research interest, a synopsis of the chapter, terminologies to know, and questions. My research interest is, as I mentioned before, is in bilingual and second language education. The goal is to extend my research into how early childhood bilingual education could be for children with autism. But first, I need to master myself in how bilingual and second language education is for early childhood education. And my experience addressed me and want me to look in this topic because I was working in a Spanish immersion program, and I asked myself why would some student understand when the teacher were talking to them or explaining something but not be able to respond in the same language. As I said, it was a Spanish immersion program. The population were English speakers, the majority of them, like 80% of them, and the 20% or less than that, he had a parent who speaks Spanish in their house. But they only the one that speak at home Spanish were able to maybe mention some words or have a whole conversation. And also me as a second language learner, like I learned English few years ago. Like I was taking classes in English when I was living in Puerto Rico, but it wasn't like a good program or good curriculum for it. And I never had the opportunity to talk with the teachers or like respond them in the same language, English. And then when I came here, that I hit my face into the wall, I finally like learned the language and I'm still learning. Okay, the chapter I choose is the chapter C, development of scientific concept in childhood. And this chapter, as we read in the course, introduced the construct of a spontaneous and scientific concept. And if you remember, spontaneous concepts are like daily experiences, like everyday experiences, and scientific concepts are the ones that are taught in school. And it's not only that you know what it is, but you also can define what it is, what you are learning. And Bioski theory established that child speech is an original formation that does not copy speech of adults. So with that, I want to bring like the difference between how the teachers in the Spanish immersion program was teaching the students, like made them to repeat words like repetition, like copy the speech technically. But I never, like I didn't experience progress through the time I was in the Spanish immersion program, preschool. Some terminologies that we need to know that I need to know if I'm working in this research is that being bilingual refers to having the capacity to speak two languages proficiently. And there are two ways. There is simultaneous bilingualism, which is the exposition of two languages, And for example, that at home you speak like both languages, English and Spanish in this case. And for example, I had this student that at home she speak English and Polish and Spanish. So she had the ability to speak three languages, but she was exposed at home and she was exposed on other school, like taking classes of Polish and Spanish, which she was in the Spanish immersion program. Um, and the other one is the sequential bilingualism, which is learning a second language after mastering the first one. In this case, that's maybe me because I was no, it wasn't the same case, but I like in my first language is the one that I really know, and eventually I learned the second language, but it's still being bilingual. Um, So the experiences respond by the chapter I read, the experience I already had, respond that why preschooler I had in the Spanish immersion program were not able to speak the language is because they did not have the chance to develop non-concision concepts, which are the spontaneous concepts, because they didn't have the experience outside the school, or something like without pressure, of teaching the language outside the school or maybe even in the school, that they really develop the spontaneous concept. And if you are feeling like if you're not successful in the spontaneous concepts, and maybe that's why they didn't get the scientific concept in this case. I'm sorry. Some questions that I still have, right, is how the child will be able to speak and understand another language if they are not getting the social language in this case of the preschool, like how they will understand or speak the other language if they are not having those experiences. And maybe that's why um, like the student weren't sex in really learn the second language. Another question is how I can promote spontaneous concepts in preschool. Children that do not speak the second language at home, like how I can do it if I have maybe to develop a program at home or it's just in the school. I don't know. So the third one is what effects does a preschool child face if they do not develop the spontaneous concepts when they are learning a new one, a language or two language? Will it be negatively or positively affect the rest of their school years? So we will see what I found. And that's my presentation. I hope you all enjoy and see you in class. Bye.